Imugi's attack stopped midway, and it seems like he is completely glitched out. Sungwoo is wondering if the whole game got shut down. Sungwoo tries to order his minions to make a move, but it seems like they are glitching as well. Sungwoo is wondering if the game is going to resume or if it will remain like this for eternity. His skills have been rendered unusable, but he is still in his Anubis form. All of a sudden, Imugi becomes normal, and he asks Sungwoo if he has ever felt like he was being watched by someone. Sungwoo has not told Imugi his real name, but Imugi somehow knows it, and he tells Sungwoo that he has obtained temporary freedom. Hanho is confused as well as to how the Imugi knows Sungwoo's name. Sungwoo thinks that it's weird for a boss monster to find a player's real name, and there are too many things out of place here. Sungwoo is now sure that there is a glitch in the system that is making these weird changes. Imugi tells Sungwoo that they don't have much time left, only the area around them is not under the creator's watch, but they will soon notice them. Jisoo-yun asks Imugi about this creator, and Hanho says that maybe this creator is a god, and all atheists are going to burn in hell. Imugi tells them that the creator he is talking about is not the creator of humans. He is talking about the being that created the monsters in this place. He creates the power the players use as well. Sungwoo thinks that this being must be an aggressor because he stuffed the system into the world they live in. Sungwoo asks the Imugi about the identity of the entity that created them. Imugi says that he doesn't know about it since he was not allowed to know of the creator's existence. Sungwoo says that it makes sense that Imugi doesn't know about the identity of the creator since he is just a boss monster created as a hurdle for the players. Imugi informs Sungwoo that he got a revelation after an unknown power entered into him. It was for only a small amount of time, so Imugi could realize only a small part of what the unknown power wanted to tell him, so he told Sungwoo to listen closely to what he was about to say. Jisoo-yun tries to attack Imugi as she thinks that Imugi is trying to get closer to Sungwoo to kill him, but Sungwoo orders Jisoo-yun to stand down. Imugi informs Sungwoo that there is a being who wants to contact him. These beings are just like his creator, but they are not currently able to appear on their own, so they are trying to convey a message using the Imugi. Sungwoo asks the Imugi what the creators want from him. Imugi informs him that the creators want the system to collapse. Sungwoo thinks that maybe they want him to end the game, and he asks Imugi why they chose him out of everyone. Imugi says that the creators have been watching everything since the start of the game. They are searching for the one who constantly deviates away from the system's fixed directions, and after careful consideration, they chose him. Imugi tells Sungwoo to survive and overthrow the system, and the creators will find an opportunity to contact him and call out his name. At the same time, a system notification appears informing the players that the system is undergoing emergency recovery, and it's on 13%. All of a sudden, some tears drop from the eyes of the Imugi, and he says that his existence is meaningless. His memories, his history, everything is fake. He is an existence that was made just to be exterminated without any meaning. Imugi asks Sungwoo to take the reverse scale from his body after killing him. Jisoo-yun explains to Hanho that a reverse scale grows in a reverse direction and is considered to be the dragon's weak point. Imugi informs Sungwoo that this scale is a gift from the being who wants to help him. The power contained in the scale will let him know if he is being watched by something or not. All of a sudden, Imugi goes berserk, and he randomly starts attacking his surroundings with his powerful elemental spells. Hanho says that suddenly going crazy while talking is a cowardly move, and Jisoo-yun asks Sungwoo if they are fighting again. Sungwoo realized that this was just an act and Imugi was doing it to fool the creator's eyes. Right now, Imugi is creating some traces of a battle. Sungwoo tells both Jisoo-yun and Hanho to listen carefully. Sungwoo says that once the recovery notification they see in front of them is complete, they need to start acting like they are fighting and as if nothing out of the ordinary has happened. Imugi informs Sungwoo that he is done creating fake battle traces and now Sungwoo can kill him. Imugi begs Sungwoo to collapse the system and find his world back while he launches an attack on him. Imugi threw some huge rocks at Sungwoo and his party. They easily dodge the projectiles. Hanho starts destroying some projectiles using his Asura form, and he mocks Imugi by saying that he handles fire like his mother slaps him on the back. All of a sudden, Jisoo-yun and Sungwoo appear right above Imugi using the shadow swap skill of Sungwoo. While Jisoo-yun is attacking, Imugi moves his head right where he will receive maximum impact from her hit. At the same time, Sungwoo runs toward the wall behind Imugi, and Imugi acts like he is trying his best to stop them. Sungwoo breaks the odd-looking wall behind Imugi. There is a pot inside the wall with a seal written on it. Sungwoo gets tackled from behind before he can do anything. Imugi shouts at Sungwoo, saying that you shameless intruders will not be able to break the Imugi's ancestral pot easily. At the same time, Sungwoo thinks that they are going to attract suspicion if things go out too smoothly. That's why Imugi is putting up some resistance. Sungwoo plays along, and he uses demonic bombardment on Imugi, but the Imugi easily nullifies demonic bombardment using a magic shield. Sungwoo summons his giant boss minions right next to Imugi to catch him off guard. The boss minions easily pop off the eyes of Imugi. Righty seizes this chance to jump toward Imugi using a boss minion as leverage. He then starts cutting the skin of Imugi like butter paper while Imugi screams in pain. He then makes his way to the ancestral pot and destroys it. A system notification appears to inform the players that the ancestral pot of Phase 1 of Imugi has been destroyed, and that Imugi has lost all shamanic powers. Imugi goes off on a rampage after his ancestral pot breaks. Sungwoo thinks that this much acting should be enough to fool the creator, so he summons all of his minions. The minions perform the all-out attack on the Imugi. They start ripping him bit by bit, and the poor Imugi withers in pain. Dark Knight appears right above Imugi using the Shadow Swap skill. He then chops off the head of Imugi in one swing. The players receive 11,550,000 gold coins for slaying Phase 1 Imugi. The time remaining for the dragon egg to hatch is now 1030 days. The title of Amateur Dragon Hunter gets upgraded to Expert Dragon Hunter. This, in turn, increases stamina by 6 points and physical strength by 3 points. His fire immunity increases by 40%, while his magic resistance increases by 10%. With his last breath, Imugi keeps crying and saying that this is unfair. He dies after saying that he never thought he would be killed by these 3 pieces of shit. Righty searches the head of Imugi, and he finds the reversed scale. Righty secretly hands it over to Sungwoo. It looks like a normal scale, and no information about it is available in the system window. Sungwoo has no idea about how he is going to find info about this item. All of a sudden, he sees a system message with on-air text written on it, as if he is being broadcasted. Sungwoo can feel an unknown presence. He now knows that the being called Creator is watching this place. Sungwoo is wondering if the Creator can know that Sungwoo has an item that lets him check if he is being watched. He now has something in his possession that can even hide from the eyes of the existence that presides over the system. Sungwoo is pondering the identity of the Creator and the other existences that are on par with him, and he also has no idea why they turned the world into a game. At the same time, a War Quest notification appears, informing everyone that the third faction has won the Metropolitan Area Scramble. 5 legendary tier chests are given to the representative of the winner faction. In the blink of an eye, 5 chests appear in front of Sungwoo. Other than that, the third faction won 296 million gold coins from the betting. Sungwoo is quite happy after winning such a massive amount of cash, but all of a sudden an earthquake hits the cave and a passage to the surface opens up. Hanho is overjoyed by their progress, and he is eager to see the expressions on the faces of people who place their bets on the Angel or the Devil faction. While moving up, Sungwoo thinks that the quest ended, so no player killing area effect must have ended as well, and he is not sure if the other factions will obediently let him pass. At the same time, the Devil faction losers are still pissed at the Necromancer. Their leader says that a total of 741 Devil faction members entered the cave, and 201 people perished in this dungeon. This was a humiliating loss from which they did not gain anything, but they lost a lot. But it's not over yet. The leader of the Conflict Guild tells his fellow players not to lose hope. They will rise up just like they rose up against the warlord of the Taebaek Mountain. He furiously tells his men that they will make this Bukhan Mountain the grave of the Necromancer. Chairman Lee is a cunning man. He already knew that something like this could happen, so he made a plan B. There are an additional 320 players stationed on the outskirts of the mountain. This plan B is called Operation Exorcism, and they are finally going to kill this demon necromancer for good. At the same time, the huge trees around the Imugi cave start to fall down on their own. The reporter announces that the event is finally over, and the giant dome that covers Bukhan Mountain is disappearing on its own. After a few minutes, the winner of the event, Sungwoo, and his party come out of the cave. The reporter announces that the third faction has won the event, but there is arrogance in her words. Ji Soo-yoon gives off a deadly glare as she reaches for her weapon. This makes the reporter afraid as she thinks that maybe Ji Soo-yeon is about to kill her for her offensive tone, but Ji Soo-yeon uses her sword to deflect some arrows coated with holy powers. The reaction of Ji Soo-yeon was too fast, and she managed to deflect the first volley of arrows with ease. Hanho and Sungwoo make a minion shield while the reporter informs the viewers that the quest has just ended and a new battle has started. Ji Soo-yeon quickly pinpoints the location where the arrows were fired, and she ravages through a whole unit of low-level archers and other long-ranged units. The reporter is quite shocked after witnessing the lightning speed of Ji Soo-yeon, otherwise known as the Red Devil of the third faction. Sungwoo says that the reporters who put their lives on the line to broadcast these fights are amazing, and Hanho says that it's sad, but she is probably going to die from a stray arrow. Conflict Guild members leap toward Ji Soo-yeon to engage her in close-quarter combat, but they get chopped like thin paper in a matter of a few seconds. The Conflict Guild leader orders the crossbow units to retreat and the mage unit to target the Red Devil. The Conflict Guild leader is on edge as he thinks that this Red Devil is getting in his way of enacting revenge on the Necromancer. He now knows why Chairman Lee told him to get rid of this girl first, but he overlooked her potential. Ji Soo-yeon destroyed 2 of the arrows that were meant for the Necromancer. They just needed to get rid of the Red Devil and then wait for an opportunity to target the Necromancer with these arrows. The Conflict Guild leader orders his lackey to use a painting to blow off the Red Devil. The player unfolds a huge painting scroll. A notification appears informing everyone that the divine landscape painting of the True View is activated. Ji Soo-yeon tries to jump back in order to avoid a black substance, but it's too fast, and it seems like she can't make it out on time. Ji Soo-yeon blocks the painting using her dual swords. She opens her eyes to find herself in a different location. She was teleported to the deep valley of Taebaek Mountain. The Conflict Guild leader becomes happy when they have sent away the Red Devil. With that being said, the Conflict Guild members leap towards Sungwoo. This time, Sungwoo is not going to show them any mercy. Sungwoo reactivates the divine Anubis form. All approaching players get inflicted with a lot of negative perks due to the presence of the divine state of Sungwoo. All players' stats are decreasing one by one. Some low-level players start spurting out blood while the leader of the Conflict Guild orders his men to hold on until the Necromancer summons his minions. They thoroughly research the Necromancer beforehand. When Sungwoo summons the undead in a large quantity, he releases a black smoke. He either puts a curse, poison, or a debuff on them, and then he wraps up his prey. The Conflict Guild members are not advised to rush in recklessly if they are already under his debuff. The Conflict Guild members start closing in slowly. At the same time, the players get hit by another debuff, and their stats are decreased by 2 points. Players get annoyed as the debuffs stack upon each other, and their experts never warn them beforehand about this. Sungwoo starts laughing like a maniac as he powers up. The ground behind Sungwoo tears up. All Conflict Guild members become scared after watching something come out of the ground. This unknown minion turns out to be the final boss of Imugi Cave. Sungwoo announces that from today onwards, the Devil faction in the Korean server will no longer be active. The morale of the players is hitting rock bottom as they are getting weaker every minute. With that being said, Imugi rushes toward the players. He starts rampaging through the ranks of the Devil faction. Sungwoo summons his skeleton minions, and then the zombies to show everyone that he is the true incarnation of the death itself. The reporter informs her viewers that the Conflict Guild members are getting swept away by an overwhelming force that seems unstoppable. The Conflict Guild leader is still cocky, and he tells Sungwoo that he cannot stop a huge army with a bunch of skeletons. Sungwoo tells him that he is correct and that later on, this Conflict Guild might belong to him. But the Conflict Guild leader tells Sungwoo that he cannot win now against their raw power without the protection of the Red Devil. At the same time, Sungwoo gets hit by 2 arrows imbued with a huge amount of holy power.